The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Welcome to Moments of Strength. I'm your host, Mary Kaufman. On this show, we don't tell stories of perfect motherhood. We uncover what it actually takes to live it and what it means to find yourself inside it. These are real conversations with women about pressure, identity, growth, the strength it takes to hold it all, and even find ways to enjoy it while you are tasked with raising the world. I'm happy you can join us for today's inspiring journey. And today's guest is Jessica. Jessica, so
Hello.
Happy to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about today.
Okay.
With what you are involved in. And typically on the show, we have started from the beginning, but I think today we'll do it a little differently. I think we'll talk about where you are now and then tie it back to how you got here. Okay.
Perfect.
So the aim of the show is really to uplift the viewers that are maybe struggling in similar roles or positions they find themselves in. And maybe they can take something from your story to help them feel not alone, feel like they don't have to recreate the wheel as a mother. And yeah, just to hear your story and understand that we've all gone through it or are in the throes of it currently. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing.
What am I currently doing? Yeah, so I do a lot, actually. I wear many hats. As a mom, of course, we're used to doing that anyway. But I do have 5 adult children. We are a blended family. I have an amazing husband who is my best friend and partner. And we do a couple of things. So I'm actually in the midst of retiring from a almost 40-year career in the hair and makeup industry, from everything from being behind the chair to being behind the camera, wedding work. I also am a hormonal coach as well, which I'm really passionate about because women in our age group and even younger find themselves in how do I balance all of this and still feel like my best and have great energy. And so I get to help people with that. And then I also happen to run a vintage motorcycle business as well. So my husband and I are business partners as well as life partners. And we have this incredible business called Never Ending Cycles that was a COVID hobby that went absolutely viral. Like, more viral than the pandemic.
Yes.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So, and it's lovely. We've had probably over 1,000 people now walk through our doors since moving into our location in 2023.
Yeah, because you really outgrew, because it was a virtual.
Well, we started in our garage. Yeah, we started in our garage, and we promoted most of it on Instagram. And again, we started in 2020, and people were at home on their phones with a lot of time and extra money as well, and wanting to be out there. And so they're looking at pretty shiny things, and vintage cafe racers became a trend. And that's what we were building. We were finding old Japanese barn finds and making them into these little cafe racers. And so by the end of 2022, we had commissioned over 40 motorcycles throughout the country.
That's
and
wild.
One of our neighbors, who maybe had too much time on our hands, I'm not sure. We probably still owe her a thank you note at this point, but she actually reported us to the city that we live in. We were not zoned to build motorcycles in our garage, but who knew? And so we had to leave our garage, and we found a 6,000 square foot warehouse that we're now housed in. And that's when we had already thought it had gone viral. We had no clue, because what it turns out is that in the world of Wisconsin and Harley Davidson, we not that we won't work on those motorcycles, but we work on all the other things that nobody else works on. And so, we've literally had about 1,000 people come through our door between special events and service and restoration and resto mods and tires and you name it.
Yes. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
And did you ever think you would be involved in that growing up?
No. I grew up in the 70s. My dad built choppers in our garage, and my parents got married very, very young. They were babies, and a year later had me, and we were the only one with a home. Everybody else lived in apartments, and so because my dad had a garage, he would store everybody's motorcycles in his garage. But he was also a mechanic, and so he would start to work on his friends' bikes, and my mom didn't really allow him to own a motorcycle, so he rode all of his friends' bikes, and that was sort of his fringe benefit from having these bikes in our garage. And so I literally would hang out on the garage floor and get into the glitter, which was actually metallic paint flakes that you're not shouldn't be playing with as a child. And of course, cleaning it up, you think glitter is like the plague. A metallic paint flake is not good. So my dad would look over, and I, as a toddler, and he'd see me with a light bulb in my mouth, and he's like, "You can't have that."
As he takes off on his friend's bike.
Right? Yeah, and he was 21. Yeah, 22. Yeah, just a baby. Just a baby. So it was in my blood. But I've always kind of lived my life in such a way, I think, that when something comes to me, I open up my mind to it. Yes. But it's very rare that I go out looking for it.
Right.
Even getting into, actually, it's interesting, getting into hair and makeup was the same.
Sure.
I, in high school, messed around a lot. Was not college bound.
Sure.
And I would cut my boyfriend's hair. And he's like, well, why don't you go to beauty school? I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
Thanks for the suggestion.
It was the best. It was the best decision I ever made. It would fit my creative brain. I even talk with my hands, so I like to do things with my hands. And it made perfect sense, and it ended up to be a beautiful career for many, many, many years.
I think there is something about that, just being open to opportunity. There are different ways to do it. Obviously, if you have a passion about something and you want to go after that, and that works for some people.
Right.
And then you're narrowly focused and you do that and you're fulfilled doing that. But I think first, I'm the same way. It's kind of an adventure, and also something will show up.
Yeah.
And being open to that, and not being so particular that you're just saying no to everything. It's like,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I think, every human is uniquely created, right? Where some people need to have a path, the vision. Yes. And sometimes I'm envious of that.
We need that as people who are not like that.
Yeah, so some people, that's true. And we need people like it. And I sometimes I'm envious because you just always know, but my brain doesn't compute it. So, but I also feel sad because they can't see outside of that path or that box.
Right.
Where I'm always like, the world is my oyster. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
And I'm the same way. You are sad. They are not sad.
No.
We are sad.
Right.
But they are not sad.
No. They're living exactly how they were wired to be.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Room for all.
Because we need the accountants and the doctors, and you don't want me doing your books or working.
You literally wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right.
So, yeah, we need that.
Yes.
So, hair and makeup, and you grew up here in Wisconsin?
Actually, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
Grew up in a, I would say a blue-collar type of town about 30 minutes south of Chicago. Still technically in Cook County, but as south as you can get in Cook County. And it was great. I loved everything about it, the diversity. Unfortunately, the neighborhood was changing very, very quickly.
Sure.
And my dad had this vision that he wanted to raise us for the rest of our childhood in rural Wisconsin. And my mom's family a lot of them had moved from Chicago to Wisconsin. And so when I was 13, just before my 14th birthday and was about to start my freshman year, they told us we were moving. And I was like, what are you doing to me? I thought it was the worst thing that could have ever happened because, I had friends and, already liked boys and all those things, and they were going to uproot all this. And so I started at a high school that there were probably 1,000 kids in my freshman class. And then moved to the town of Burlington, Wisconsin, where I graduated with 169 people.
That's
it's very,
so
very, very different. But, it was so good for me.
Yes.
It was so, so good for me because I had a lot of anxiety in school and high school. I grew up scared of my own shadow. I was an adventurous kid. I was kind of a tomboy in many ways when I was young. But then I get into this high school with all these people, and like I couldn't eat lunch half the time. I had such an upset stomach from the anxiety that I would skip lunch. I get off the bus and walk in, and I was just like panic stricken. And this actually started in junior high for me with anxiety.
I really think, I'm just going to interject, that is a common, I think, common thing.
It really is. And then, of course, once we had our own children, we saw this again, you know, in what we dealt with. And, you know, I had like psychosomatic stomach aches, I think, every day of 7th grade. You know, please, Mom, come and get me. And she's like, get out of the car, you're going to school. Like that was like a daily thing. So when we moved to this little town and I was the new girl in town, it was kind of refreshing. It was kind of fun, like, oh, this is, people actually like me. You know, and still was kind of a hot mess in high school, just, you know, figuring my way through things. I think I actually probably had some undiagnosed ADHD was probably part of it, which is why when I got to beauty school and I could think with my hands and work with my hands, everything started to align for me. And then my confidence started to grow from there. And
Did you play sports or anything in school?
I didn't. I was well, we can talk about this a little bit more, but I was a youth group coach when my kids were young. And I loved it. And my good friend and pastor said, Jess, did you play sports or anything? I'm like, I lettered in sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
The adventurer.
I was the adventurer. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Cool. Well, here you are.
I should have been taking art classes. I should have been taking a lot of art.
Which
is okay.
I mean, we don't always know that when the opportunity is there.
We don't. We don't. It's so true. It's so true. And again, with the path that we just talked about of like, you know, education tends to go, this is what you're supposed to do. And not every kid fits into that, into that box.
And then they have to figure out why they don't fit into the box. And then what are they going to do if they're not on that sort of typical path? So
agreed.
It's a lot.
It is.
So you got into the hair and makeup deal and off you went.
Yeah, I graduated from high school. I had not even turned 18 yet. And 2 weeks later started beauty school.
Nice. And did you own your own, did you like rent a chair or how did that?
I did. Actually, I started at a great salon in Milwaukee that was well renowned. My boss actually was from England, and he worked under Vidal Sassoon, and I had some really amazing experiences. I had incredible training, did a lot of fashion work, did competition work. It was really fun. And then I met my first husband. And eventually we had a baby and I got pregnant and it changed everything. I was like, I don't want to hang out in the bars. I don't want to work after I'm done working, doing photography and doing all this stuff. It's fun, but the ship kind of had sailed. And so I did end up at that point then renting my own studio and became my own boss. And I learned that I loved to be an entrepreneur. And I get that from my dad. And I loved to be an entrepreneur. And so, then I did start my own business.
And being your own boss is, I mean, as hard as it is, it's liberating.
It really is. It really is. And when it removed the middleman of, you know, the salon owner, the receptionist or whatever, and it was just me working with my clients, and I had to call and say, hey, my little girl's sick. I need to reschedule. No problem. But owning that freedom was, it was huge for me. It was huge for me. And I actually tried to have a couple of jobs after I had that exposure, and I couldn't. I never lasted.
Hard to go back to.
I never lasted. No. Yeah.
So when you had your first baby, because we talk about motherhood a lot on the show.
Best job ever.
How do you? I agree. How did that go for you? You know, so some people have a very rocky start. I mean, it's an infinite number of experiences and ways that goes. But how did that go for you?
So, when I met my first husband, I had, and I start there first because it has to do with how did that go with motherhood.
Yeah.
I messed around a lot. I was, just kind of a wild child for a while.
Yeah.
And when I met him, he was a little older than me, and I was kind of tired of that lifestyle.
Yes.
And so I was ready to settle down. I was still an infant, I was 21 when we met, 23 when we got married. And I started to realize that he didn't drink right. It was off. And he would go on benders and binge. And I was like, I know how to make this better.
Oh, right.
We'll have a baby.
Many women feel that way.
We'll have a baby, yeah. And so so we got pregnant, and he said, well, once we have a kid, I'm not going to keep drinking like this. I'm like, okay. I was naive enough that I believed him. And so we had this little girl, and Addie, she's now she's now an adult. But anyway, and when she was just 2 weeks old, he went on another bender, and I was like, here I am. I married an alcoholic, and I have this little girl to raise. And that was part of the shift for me too towards entrepreneurship. It was twofold, because I could no longer trust him to pick her up at daycare. And there were times when I came home and he was drunk, or I'd get a call from the daycare, hey, Addie hasn't been picked up yet, and it was after 6 o'clock. And I'm trying to wrap up a client. And so I realized I needed to have flexibility so that I was always available for her, no matter what. And she was colicky, and that was tough.
Super.
We'd go driving around at midnight. My grandmother was still alive at the time, and I was really close to her, and we both lived in Milwaukee, and they would be having like a late night card night. My family loves to play cards. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to skip, baby,
sure,
whatever. And then all of a sudden I'd show up, and they're like, you're here, and it's like midnight. And I'm like,
she didn't want to skip.
I had to get her out. Yeah. Yes. So, but it was interesting because I wasn't as young as my parents were when they started, but I was 25, and I was learning a lot about myself still,
of course,
regardless of even learning how to be a mom. So I remember one really pivotal thing though that I learned from my mother.
Yes.
Is I was reading What to Expect While Expecting. And my mom said to me, she's like, honey, she said, I want you to go ahead and read that book. Nothing wrong with it. She said, but I want you to also remember that God gave you an instinct as a mom, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Trust your gut. And I was like, and that was, almost 30 years ago that she told me that, and I'll never forget it.
And did you trust your instincts?
I did trust my instincts. It took me a little bit, especially with that first one.
Yes.
Especially with the first one.
Well, and I feel like that too. I started to recognize that if I didn't go with what I thought, I would just be like, I knew.
Yeah.
And so enough of that going on is like, you have to start going with what you think.
I agree.
I mean, you're tied to your child, and they are your priority.
Yes.
No matter what else you have going on, you will sacrifice yourself anyway.
Yep.
You're sacrificing yourself for your spouse, your job. So your child, if you're going to sacrifice, that's your first priority.
Yeah.
And your instincts will tell you how to do that. I mean, you're a biological person. It's going to tell you how to do that.
Agreed.
And if you ignore that and go the other way, or some other influence comes in and tells you how it's going to be, you'll recognize that you probably had the right feeling, the right gut feeling. So your mom was right.
She was right.
And as moms, we need to teach other moms,
Yeah, for sure. And like listen to your, and even like my oldest now, she's married and they're planning on a family, and I'm like, you're just gonna know, like, You know, you'll never have all your ducks in a row. You'll never have the perfect plan. Just listen to your head and your heart. Listen to your heart, really, before your head, because your
Yes.
your head will mumble jumble it all up.
Yes. It will try to accommodate every other force you have going on in your life.
Yeah.
So you will have an instinct, and then you will negotiate with it to accommodate everything else.
Yeah.
So, and also we will say these things, and someone said them to me, and you'll feel like, no. So I think test the system. Go with your instinct first.
Yes.
See if it works out.
Yes. Well, because the information's always there. The information, but when you go for the information, you're going to find 100 different opinions. So you have to find, I'm all about alignment, like alignment, like what aligns with you and feels right. No square pegs and round holes. If it doesn't feel right, then that's not your answer. Something else is your answer.
Even, you talked about your relationship, and not to even get into that with specifically who that person is, but, as a person who's like adventure and experience and run wild, you get to a point where it's nice to have a stabilizing force. But does it mean that stabilizing force is the right one? It just feels like, I think sometimes there's some relief to not be, because don't you think life it's such a balance of we're an open adventure and accept and try all kinds of things. But if a barrier doesn't go up at some point, you just run yourself into the ground trying all the things.
Yeah.
You won't find a path. And so it's nice to run into a stabilizing force. Maybe it was the right one in that moment. Doesn't mean it's the right one for the rest of your life.
That's true. Well, and it's really interesting that you said that too, because, we went on to have 2 more kids. So I gave birth to 3 girls. And, when you're married to an addict, you have to become the adult.
Yes.
Because somebody has to be the adult. Even though I was 8 years younger than him, I had to be the adult. And my spirit of adventure was a little stifled.
For sure.
Because how do I be adventurous and still provide stability for my children? And so I continued to just choose stability and stability and stability because otherwise they won't have it. So I have to be it. And so when my oldest daughter went to college, like the curtain was pulled from my life, and I was exposed to, well, if she's going to go to college and move out, they're going to eventually move out too. And then the person across the chair from me, I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see. I know that I'm meant for more. I knew from the time I had my first. I did not decide I was raising children.
Yes.
I decided I was raising future adults.
Yes.
And so, which is why I always liked to have something to bring to the table, whether it was my work, my volunteer, whatever. And so now here we're on the precipice of that freedom and taking the role of being friend and guider, guidance counselor to our children instead of hands-on parenting. And I want to have fun. And I can't have fun with you because
it's the child that will never leave the house.
It's the child that will never leave the house.
And it's not your child.
And it's not my child, and I can't sit here and watch you die. We're gonna eventually.
Yes,
we're humans.
Of course.
But to continue to make choices that are killing our relationship and killing the trust and the intimacy and all of those things. And so, I had to go find that spirit of adventure again.
Yeah.
And that was really hard for my kids.
Of course.
It was really hard for my kids. And I had to sit them down and, and especially once I started to date. And I just said, and I didn't date a lot.
Sure.
My husband, current husband, and I had been friends for 15 years. And lo and behold, we were both single at the same time. And I was getting involved with him, and they were like, and it was fast. Like, aren't you even going to mourn, Dad? And I was like, I've been mourning for 10 years.
Oh, it's so hard to understand as a kid, but yeah.
And they get it now.
Yeah, of course.
They get it now. They see that like I have an adventurous, fun relationship, but we're also really good partners. We're always seeking to understand each other and guide each other and not make each other's life more difficult, but how can I make your life easier? Because that's what we do as partners.
Yes.
But for them to see that transition of like, well, mom's having all this fun and dad's miserable.
Yeah.
And then they realize,
And
well,
then-
dad's miserable because of his choices and mom is going out to grab life, you know.
And
by
your
the
kids really
reins.
want that for you.
They do. And now they really do.
They just
And now
didn't
they love
know
it.
you.
No, they
as
didn't know
that.
me in that role. They didn't know me in that role.
Yeah. So that's an adjustment, you
It
know,
is.
for kids.
It is.
But in the end, it's better because
It is
you are who you are.
Yeah.
And they are part of you too. And so, yeah.
It's true. One of my favorite things that they ever said is my two youngest. We were standing in the kitchen, and we always have the best conversations in the kitchen.
Yes.
And they're like talking about boys or whatever. And one of my daughters says, "I have mom and Ben goals." I'm like,
Yeah,
I couldn't ask for anything more.
No.
Like, yes, I
What a
want
compliment.
to be an example of the type of relationship that you want. And they didn't grow up with that. It's not what they grew up with, so they got to see that in their adulthood, which is great because now they're adults planning their lives.
Yeah.
And they're seeing something that's they can apply to their lives now, which is fantastic.
Because if they didn't see that, they would apply what they always saw.
Yeah. Yes.
And it wouldn't even be, it's not even, who cares whose fault, but it's just the way
No.
life goes, you know. If you could sit down and have coffee with your 23-year-old self, she'd be proud of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Isn't that amazing to think?
Yeah, so so you can't always anticipate, you know, you can never anticipate what's really going to come of your life in decades. But, you know, you can make those little choices and sometimes significant choices that put you on a different trajectory.
Yeah.
So you can be who you really are. And
they're all the shaping of you. Like, they're all the shaping of you, you know. Like, my kids at one point asked, like, why did you stay so long? And I'm like, well, there were a lot of reasons. And you guys were the main reason, and that felt like the right thing to do for you, but I wasn't done growing. The story wasn't written yet, and I needed to finish writing it first. And, you know, and because of it, you know, my husband now and I sometimes think, wouldn't it have been great if we got together younger? But we both know that we weren't ready yet for each other. We had things we needed to learn about ourselves.
you weren't the same people back then.
We weren't.
So maybe you wouldn't have even,
We might not have worked out either.
because you have to grow in different ways. And then
do.
maybe those parts of you are what make it work now.
Right.
So,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's hard. So now you both run the motorcycle business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that's
then
going well.
in the nooks and crannies of my life, I'm helping people with their health and hormones and longevity. And I think that's another thing that too, again, because my mind is always open. Last summer, I was a wreck. So those of you moms that are out there that maybe are on the older side of the spectrum, my hormones were just a wreck, and I was realizing that it was kind of like going through puberty, but in backwards.
Yeah. So how did you know that? Like, you know, because I think it's hard.
Yeah.
We're all at different ages when that happens. You don't know, is that really what's causing
Yeah.
it? Like, how did you know that?
I think that's such a great and important question, Mary, because I think some of us, I have a fairly good understanding of my body. And I don't know that I always did, but when I started to pay attention to my health a little bit, and I really like to address my health at a homeopathic level. And when you do that, you have to learn to be a little bit more intuitive with your body.
Can you just explain in case people don't know
Sure,
what
I would love to.
homeopathic means?
So homeopathic means I like to take care of my health at a root cause.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so my dad is Italian. My grandfather was literally, you know, an immigrant when he was a small child. And my dad is like, if you have a cold, you eat a garlic sandwich.
Yes.
So
Because no one will come around.
drink some vinegar. Like that's
Yeah.
how I grew up. We had a massive garden, and so I always have liked to take care of my health at a root cause. There is always a time and a place for medicine. I am that person. If there is a side effect to that medicine, I have it.
Okay, yes.
It's just how I am. And so I started to really try to really get to the root of things. And that probably started when I was like 37-ish, because I have osteoarthritis.
Okay.
So I was able to manage it by staying away from inflammatory foods, processed sugars, you know, unfortunately gluten, dairy, things like that. They would cause inflammation for me. So then fast forward to turning 50, and I'm eating well. I do CrossFit. I'm active, all those things. And I kept hurting myself. My joints kept hurting. I was putting on weight around my middle no matter what I did. And then go into like, because now I'm 53, so about 52-ish, I am starting to have anxiety again, like I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And
This all feels familiar to me.
I'm
by the
sure.
way. We're the
I'm
same
sure.
age, but yeah.
And I'm tired. Like I could sleep for 8 hours and I'd wake up and I'm like, old lady getting out of the bed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and I'm just tired, and then I would crash in the afternoon, and I felt just uncomfortable in my own skin. Like everything felt off. I felt like I didn't have my vigor, my spirit of adventure. I was like everything just felt flat. And so I had tried mountains of supplements. I even waved my white flag and did a Dutch test and had my hormones tested, and my nurse practitioner had me start progesterone. I was like, whatever, just give it to me.
Yeah.
It was like my skin was crawling.
Oh gosh.
It was awful. It was just awful. So lo and behold, I am following this friend of mine that I know from the wellness community, and she's talking about these homeopathic drops. And I'm seeing before and afters where people were losing weight. I'm like, I really want to get this weight off. And then she talked about hot flashes and mood swings. And I was like, okay, what do you got? What do you got? I don't care how much it costs. I need it. So I started using these drops, and within 48 hours, it was like somebody turned the lights on.
Wow.
I got out of bed and my back didn't hurt. And within a few weeks, I started to lose. I lost like 9 pounds of just extra. My cortisol was out of whack.
Sure.
And when our cortisol is the leading hormone, our estrogen and progesterone don't do their job. Cortisol instead kicks in. And so that's why I started to have more energy. It's because I was decreasing my cortisol levels. That's why I started to lose the belly fat. That's why my inflammation went down. I had my husband go on them. Same thing. He's also over 3 months lost like 15 pounds. And again, can think with the frontal lobe. We're helping to balance the vagus nerve. But just feeling like ourselves again has been huge, absolutely huge. And being able to like go, because
Well, your lives are very busy.
they're very busy. And again, like our hats are changing all of the time. But what I love about being part of this company now, it's called Partner Co., where who I got these drops from. You know, my friend Laura asked me like, well, would you be interested in the income? I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Of course I'm interested
I'm
in
open.
the income. And I could do it from my phone and from anywhere. I was in Europe that past fall, and I'm like, selling drops from,
That's awesome.
Europe. It's fantastic. And so I also can help people to create a stream of income as well, where they can work at around their crazy lives. And it's not just about hormonal balance too. We have, you know, immunity boosters and all kinds of things. But if you like to take care of your health from a root cause and are focused on wellness and longevity, it's just something you literally can help people do from your phone, from literally from anywhere. So it's a lovely business.
So you're really spending your time obviously doing what you love, but simultaneously enhancing the lives of other people.
Yeah, I'm big on that. I'm really big on that. Like I said, I was a youth group coach at one point, and I also coach my children. Like I coach people with their wellness and health, you know, how to eat better and make small shifts. But I love that part, like that. We even do it at my husband is a personal trainer by trade. He is not a motorcycle mechanic. This happened, again, by accident, but it's working. But to be able to take somebody and go, hey, let me show you this. You're riding a vintage motorcycle. Let me show you this trick with your carbs, or your trick with this, so that you understand your machine better. So you don't always have to come back to me to have it fixed. Kind of like root cause of health, because you don't always need to go back to the doctor. How can you learn to heal yourself? How can you learn to manage your motorcycle? Like, it's funny because I never really thought about how
the parallels.
The parallels of them. It's like, what can you take care of yourself? And be independent.
Well, you know, that's sort of the human condition is you have to own it to really affect it. You know, I mean, you can outsource a lot of things, but if you own something, then you can have immediate impact on that, and you don't have to wait around for somebody else's expertise to heal you or do something for you. Or
and isn't it fun watching our kids? Because I know you've got some that are a little bit older. Watching them start to do that as well, and like gain that. My 22-year-old, she's my little pistol, little spicy redhead, and when she was in, I don't know, probably middle school, she started to learn how to like see if she could manipulate me. She's like, Mom,
oh yes,
do you love me? And I'd say, enough to tell you no, and it's necessary. You know, now I still have to do that sometimes, even though she's 22. But watching her, because I've learned how to say no. When she wants something like the easy button, she's learned how to do so many things herself. And she's a self-starter. She's very independent. You know, she's 22, lives on her own, goes to school full time, and manages a bar. Like she's really driven. And it's so fun to watch our kids take those experiences that we've learned of like self-development and start to apply them themselves.
I'm really talk a lot about that to my kids, and I think I want them to know everything I know. And it's not designed like that.
No.
So, but I will say, I do see behaviors that develop as a result of some things that I said, or, you know, and so maybe you're saying it too much, and maybe they have had enough, and like my middle daughter will say, like, this isn't a life lesson, and yes, it is. Everything is a life lesson. And I get really hung up on that and want to explain, or my oldest daughter will say, like, I just want to tell you this, I don't want a solution, which helps me. Because, right, somebody threw up a boundary, that's helpful.
That's so true.
Then that allows me not to feel like I have to solve somebody else's problem. Also, they didn't ask me, but I'm trying to solve it anyway. But the saying no thing is very important. There are ways to do it where you can still be on the same team with your kids.
Agreed.
You do not become enemies just because they want something and you think in the best interest of them, they shouldn't have it. That is why you are the parent. It is okay to put up a boundary and that they don't like it and you maintain it anyway. And it doesn't make them your enemy.
I agree. You know, this same youngest child was why I started taking parenting classes.
Well, sometimes, I mean, we need those. Why aren't we having those before we become parents?
Right, I know. I agree. And she was probably 4 and just testing boundaries right away. And I started taking parenting with love and logic classes. And I loved it. And it's not for everybody, but it worked great for me because I didn't want to say no, but I also didn't want to cave to everything. So how can I do both? And it was pretty much like whatever, you give them 2 choices, and whatever choice they make, you still are winning and so are they. You're giving them the power, but the choices that they make aren't going to affect them in the long run or make your life more harder. Would you like to clean up your room right now, or did you want to clean it up when you get home from church? Did you want to pack your own lunch, or in the morning, or did you want to pack it tonight before you go to bed? Like, just making things that they still get to choose, but they're still responsible at the same time.
And you as the parent, I think some people get caught up because they're like, I don't want them to have, like, they shouldn't have, I'm not going to give them the power or whatever. But it's like, you still provided the choices as the parent. So don't forget, you're still guiding that.
Yes.
And also, you know, I get the conflict because I lived this too. The conflict with you have this precious child. It's everything, and you don't want it to be hurt, and you don't want it to suffer, and you want it to be taken care of and loved. And yes, so you sometimes operate from a place of fear because what if something happened, you know? And so you give it everything it wants because you want it to have a good life, but it doesn't know. Your child doesn't know what it wants. At 2, they can't intentionally make an educated decision about whether or not they should go to bed.
Right.
You know, so if you're getting caught up in those spirals, like, it's okay to put a boundary and then allow them to have their emotional reaction to it.
Yeah,
They're entitled to that.
Exactly. They really are.
And then over time, you can put boundaries on that or whatever.
Well, and I think too, when we do start to let them have choices when they're young, and choices that, again, we're still winning.
Yes.
Like, it's not a competition, but we're still winning, and they're
Yes.
making decisions, you know, is that you want them to make decisions, and you want them to fail and fall on their face when the consequences are small.
Right.
You know, I was married to somebody whose parents bailed him out well into his 30s. And those consequences become quite expensive for your life and what it costs. And that, I don't just mean that monetarily.
Right.
Where when you've, and I don't want to just say, if you don't let your children make choices and let them fall, they're going to become an alcoholic. It's not, it's not, but we want them to make decisions that they can build upon as they are growing, that, okay, now they're in middle school, so now the decision looks like this and the failure looks like this.
Yeah.
Now they're in high school, ooh, the failure's going to be a little bit more stingy, but it's better than when they're 30, and when they're 40, when they're 60.
Oh, yeah.
So it's foundational, everyday mathematics. I don't know if your kids had that. And I was like, what is this math?
Same.
But it was also like, okay, they're layering like Legos, you know. And this is the skill, and now the skill looks like this, and now the skill looks like this. And I really believe that that's exactly what we're doing as parents, is developing skills that continue to grow and layer as they get older. Had amazing, so I have 2 bonus children too that I adore, and a boy and a girl. And I had this discussion with my husband because he's like, everything I say makes her mad. And I was like, I want to just propose this to you. You can do with it whatever you want. I said, but if she listens to you with every life decision and it doesn't work out, you're to blame.
Absolutely.
And if it does work out, you get the credit. And you want her to take the accountability and take the credit for it when she's done something great for her life.
Yes. And she can own it.
And she can own it.
Yeah. That's really, I would say, one of the most important goals is learning to own your experience.
Yes.
That doesn't mean not relying on other people or not having other people in your life.
We're a village.
Just, yeah. But if you looked at every scenario like, what was my part in this, instead of it's their fault, you'd probably find most of the time there was something you could have done differently, a different choice. You could have said something differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I think kids outside of our own homes, people run their homes differently, but in society, we raise kids to apologize. You know, you owe them an apology. But we should take it a step further and say, you know, what happened here? What are you accountable for here? Like, what was your part in this?
Yeah.
You can apologize if you want and all of that. It's nice. But like, if you don't understand why you're saying sorry just because an adult told you to.
Absolutely. Because you're going to do it again. Because you don't know why you did it to begin with.
You can't make the connection.
I used to make my girls so crazy. They were, 3 girls. So,
yes.
Mom, she did, Mom, blah, blah, blah. And in the heart of all of the bickering, I finally decided to say to them, what was your part? Well, no, but she did. I know what she did. What was your part? Well,
That's so hard. Yeah.
They were so mad, but I was like, I literally didn't know what else to do. I'm like, I could get in the middle of this, but it's a he said, she said thing. And what's your part and what's your part? Because those are the only things you have control over, you guys.
Yeah.
You can't control what the other person chose to do.
Never.
No.
Yeah, never.
No.
Yeah, I remember too, two of my daughters taught me a very important lesson, that I didn't need to intervene in their discourse, you know, because I wanted things to be good and everybody have a good experience. And so if they were involved in something where they didn't agree, and then I would think, oh, I can see her side and I can see her side, so let me just help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually they're like, we don't need...
Now we're mad at you, Mom.
Yeah, we just... they wanted to figure it out.
They did. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so good for them, too.
So that was a lesson for me. I didn't know that as a parent, you know.
And it probably improved their relationship, too. I mean, truly, I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, I can see, like, with my husband now, his parents got involved between him and his brother a lot. And they actually made things a whole lot worse. And now my husband and his brother are really working on like reconnecting together, because they've got these aging parents. They have to communicate without their parents. And they're like, hey, this isn't so bad.
They don't have a facilitator anymore.
Right. Getting rid of the facilitator has actually improved the relationship significantly.
Yeah, because what it really is doing is it's impeding their ability to figure out how to communicate with each other, especially if they have different styles.
Yes.
And then figure out, oh, okay, well, this works with her, this doesn't.
Yeah.
And they can understand it more fully. Instead, I was just robbing them of that.
Right.
I can admit that. I mean, I thought I was helping.
We're all over it. Isn't it great, though, to just say, the lesson here is that Mom's still learning.
All the time.
I say this all the time. My graduation day is when I'm in the grave.
Yeah.
I will be learning until I'm done learning. Like,
we haven't done it before.
No.
Your kids are always a new age. Yeah. They're always having new experiences.
That's right. And so are we as humans.
Yeah.
I always want to be learning.
Yeah, same. Me too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay, so other than the wellness business and the motorcycles, and are you still doing youth coaching? Or you just did that for a time?
I did that when my kids were in junior high and high school. And it was through a church that I was involved in, and the church had a lot of changes, and then COVID happened, and you know, all that stuff. So I'm finding now, it's really funny though, because I had this conversation with my sweet mom yesterday. She's like, honey, have you ever thought about being a life coach? And I'm like, I just am going to coach my kids for now. Yeah. You know, so I'm really coaching my adult children, I think, and then coaching my wellness clients. And
you have enough going on.
And my team. So, yeah, and I do have a growing team as well. So I do have plenty going on. And my husband said, he's like, you're my life coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I'm, you know, hopefully this year is the year of being a grandma, and it's gonna a new level and a new title, and eventually retiring from hair and makeup altogether. Although I'm sure I'll keep a big toe in it a little bit, you know, friends and family or whatever, because I love it. But it's time to narrow the stream here a little bit of all these different things that I do.
Well, it's kind of crazy because the things you're involved in, you can narrow them or you could scale them.
It's very true. It's very true.
It's fun to have that option.
Yeah, it is fun. And I think the hardest thing with people like us that are driven and are always open to new opportunities is, again, just listening to the gut. And I now know, because I've managed my cortisol. Yeah. I know when it's off and when I need to go, I got to scale back a little bit. I need to say no to a few things right now. Yes. That could change. I might be able to say yes in the future, but right now I have to scale a little bit so that I can. We've had quite a year. We started out the year with a truck fire in our driveway. Oh my! Our vehicle literally started on fire. We think it was aftermarket seat heaters, and the front of our garage is still needs to be repaired, and we're standing here powerless, right? Just going, our whole house could go up. It was so scary.
Yeah, because what can you do if your truck's that close to the house and it's on fire?
You get as far away as you can.
Gosh.
You get as far away as you can. And so many things came of that. Number one, I had a cortisol setback. Number two was my husband and I have decided that I'm not into super woo-woo things, but I'm also open because I think they're intriguing. And so this is the year of the fire horse. And I was like,
oh, I know.
It's literal. It's literal. The fire horse is on fire in front of my.
Fire horse is in our driveway.
Yeah. So, but we're forging. Like we're forging new. We're saying no. We've actually fired a customer, and we've shipped his motorcycle back. We've, had somebody coming around trying to lowball us, and my husband said, "We're not for you, but I've got another guy you could go to." And he turned down a $30,000 motorcycle project. In learning to say no to things so that we can say yes to the right things.
It's great to be at a place, and you have to earn that.
You do.
You have to earn that. So
you do.
You can't just do that right away, but when you put the work in on the front end and you build something that has integrity and that you believe in and you own, then you get to a point where you get to choose.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
That's a great story.
It's a great place to be, and I hope that people listen to this and think about that. I don't care if you're a 25-year-old and have little babies at home or you've got kids in college, always find that space for you to say no to the right things so you can say yes to the right things. And no sometimes feels really uncomfortable.
Yes.
And some of us as moms, we have this flashing neon light shining above our head that says, ask me. I don't say no. Yeah. I say yes to every PTO commitment and every church group and every mom's group, and I can lead this and lead this and lead this, and then you've got nothing left. Right. And you've got to put on your own oxygen mask first before you can do that for others. I've had to coach people with that in my wellness business as well. I had a woman that, she's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to do with eating these foods, which are whole foods. It's just whole foods, that's all. It's just not processed things.
Right.
Because my adult children live with me and their baby, and she likes to eat casseroles. I said, well, you have diabetes and heart disease.
The baby likes to eat casseroles?
The
daughter?
The daughter,
okay.
The daughter-in-law. And I'm like, but you have diabetes and heart disease. And they're 30.
Yeah.
Maybe they could make their own dinner.
Also, a better you is better for them.
Absolutely. Lead by example. Lead by example. Your kids are watching.
Yeah. You're all there watching.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, too, just through your story, too, if you are young and in just something isn't going to be it for the rest of your life, you don't have to make a rash decision today. And you may find yourself staying, and it's just important to stay in touch with who you are.
Absolutely.
And listen to that instinct
I would agree.
Plan and dream.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I would agree. And if you do have a situation in your life where you are dealing with addiction, my grandmother was a recovering alcoholic, and so I went to her and I'm like, how do we fix this? And she said, you have to go to Al-Anon. I don't have the problem. She's like, trust me.
Yeah.
So finding, whether it's in that realm or another realm, but finding people to surround yourself with that understand what you're going through is very, very important. Those meetings changed my life. They changed my life, and they helped me to understand what was my part and not my part. Those are really, really huge things to make sure that you take a look at. And if you are in a situation where you're staying and you feel like you need a plan, then I have a dear friend that helps women through that as well, in planning for how to financially protect themselves if they're going to be going through that kind of a life change and separation and divorce. And so I'm happy to connect people with that as well. She saved my tail.
Yeah,
going
that's
through
awesome.
that.
She should come on the show.
Yeah, I will do an introduction. You'll love Rhonda. She's fantastic.
But in the meantime,
Yes.
people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, I am on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram handle is The Shotzi Show, because life is just one big Shotzi show.
It's so fun.
But yes, and also on Facebook, Jessica Schott Schneider. It's Schott and Schneider. It's very overwhelming, but it's just two words, two words in one. But yeah, I'd love to connect with people on whether it's, just life, kids, hormones, and motorcycles. We do also have...
What a summary. Life, kids, hormones,
I
and
know.
motorcycles.
I think that if I ever write a book, it's going
Yes,
to just be called
that is the
Mascara and Motorcycles.
Absolutely.
Mascara and Machines or something, But our business is Never Ending Cycles, and we're also we're really huge proponents in mental health. My husband will not be shy about his mental health journey and the things that he has been through. His healing is part of why our relationship is so solid and strong. But we host a ride every year called the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride.
Yes.
So we think an episode of Mad Men, and we're dressed dapper, riding our motorcycles in every make, model, color, year. Like, it's fantastic. But it is a worldwide ride organized by a foundation called Movember. And the benefit of that ride goes to men's health. Specifically, it's prostate cancer and men's mental health.
Okay.
We really focus on the men's mental health portion of it. But we know not every guy wants to talk about their mental health, but they'll admit that they have a prostate. So
Yeah, start somewhere.
I have one of those. But it's just a great ride. But that's May 17th. And so if that's something that people are, interested in as well, I'd be happy to guide them to where they can ride locally or just support the cause.
Well, it's so nice because you can it's like doing a virtual run. You can do it in your own space. I did go on the websites and look at Never Ending Cycles is the one.
Yes.
And then the Distinguished Gentleman Ride. It's under that, right?
Yes.
To look it up. Okay. And so they can get a hold of you through Instagram or Facebook. They can go to those
And our
websites.
website is just neverendingcycles.com.
Okay,
So it's really easy to find us there too.
Yeah. It's great. You're doing a lot of great stuff.
Thank you. It is fun. It is all stuff that I'm passionate about, and they do really weave into each other quite beautifully in a very opposite feeling kind of way. But I think that's the other thing that I love about it is my husband and I are healthy motorcycle riders, where the stigma can be put on a skull ring and ride bar to bar.
Yes.
And it's fine if you do. That's not us.
Yeah.
That's not us.
No.
We're enthusiasts. We're enthusiasts, and we really love to have a healthy, balanced life. It's not perfect, but it's balanced.
And your mom. He's a dad. You've got all the
Yes,
family
we
stuff
do.
going on.
We do.
And is there anything else? I mean, you've shared a lot of gems here today on the show, which I think women can take and apply immediately, which is fantastic. Any final thoughts for moms, women, entrepreneurs, women starting over, women in their 50s, women,
It's all of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you just solve all the problems in your final statement?
Sure. You know what? One of the things I learned when my children were really young, I was in a mom's group, and this particular woman who was a little older than me, so I looked to her as kind of a role model, encouraged us to get up an hour before our children got up. And this way you have time to be with yourself. And I still do that. I still get up before my husband, and I have some me time. And
What do you think that does for you?
for me, okay, so what I learned when I started doing it when my kids were little, I don't do well when I hit the ground running. I'm not ready to formulate words. I'm not ready to speak to people. People think she's a morning person. I'm like, no. Don't get me wrong.
You earned it.
I just get up early.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Right.
I'm not going to be anywhere before 9 a.m. I'm not even going to be anywhere before 10 a.m. Today was like, oh, look at me. I'm out of the house and it's 8:45. But that time is just for me to put the files in the right spaces. Because if I get up and I hit the ground running, my digestive system hasn't even worked yet. And you want me to have a conversation?
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
just having time to put my thoughts in order, I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better coach, I'm a better businesswoman if I just take a little space for myself. And sometimes now, this is really difficult when you have littles. But like when they napped, I napped.
Yeah.
You know, I think we were thought, oh, they're napping, I've got to clean the kitchen, the kitchen's going to get done. So just finding moments, and that you don't have to necessarily plan for them.
Right.
You have to create a habit. You have to create a habit of, I have to connect with me, not because I'm selfish, not because it's convoluted, because I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better everything if I have time to connect with me. And me time doesn't mean you're going for a pedicure. It doesn't have to be hoity-toity.
Sure.
It's thoughtfulness, it's intention. It's being with yourself. And so I will also, we close at 6 at the shop. And because when I'm at the shop, I'm helping customers, I'm helping my husband. Sometimes my face is literally black because I've been powder coating or wiping my face, and I've been just cleaning up parts or an engine or whatever. And in between, I'm answering phone calls and coaching people with their wellness. Like this brain is like ding, 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 all day long. So we close at 6, I leave at 5. And I go home and I let my dogs out. And I have a little time to just be alone again, even for 15 minutes.
It's just a transition
It's
kind
a
of
transition
space.
time, exactly, before I start to make dinner and be present for my husband as well. You know, he deals with a lot, and I want to be present for him too. So I'm a better wife because I have this me time. But again, it's time to be with myself.
And if you can't
space.
if you can't find an hour, you know, you've got littles, find 10 minutes.
Exactly.
The other thing is you will be kinder to yourself if you spend time with yourself.
I agree.
You should be your own best friend. I mean,
I
that's
agree.
goals, but
Yes,
you know.
agree.
Yeah.
But it's really funny that you said that because my youngest has set out to do that. She had tons of friends in middle school and high school. And then she started to kind of go down a wrong path. And because of that, she ended up not having a lot of friends. And so, but if she went back to the friends she had, she found herself not making good choices.
Oh, sure.
So she decided to just get really good with herself. And she lives all by herself in this cute little studio. And she has plants and she meal preps. And I'm like, keep cultivating this.
Yes.
So
Well,
you have that place to go back to.
Absolutely. And if you don't want to spend time with yourself, then do other people want to spend time with you? And we will blame them, but you know,
It's so true.
so much of this is about owning your experience.
It's so true. It's so true.
And also, I would like to point out that we started this story with you as a toddler on the floor of the garage with metallic motorcycle dust.
Yeah.
And we ended this story with you as an adult in your own business with black stuff on your face from the parts. So we have come full circle.
We have.
I'd like to point that out.
Wait, that is very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. I have a video of me glitter dusting a motorcycle tank, and I'm like,
Don't inhale.
just like when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, amazing. Okay,
Yes.
well, thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
on the
me.
show
This is
today.
really
Oh,
fun.
so fun.
Really
It was
fun.
So nice to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget to hold on to your perspective, but be brave enough to step into somebody else's like we did with Jessica today. Be resilient, continue to show up, find time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes before your kids get up. We need you, they need you. It's important that you get up and keep going. And have a pursuit. It pays off, as we learned today, even if it's 20, 30 years down the road when you see the fruits of your imagination and your labor and the things that you're willing to sacrifice to get it. Having pursuits is important. And remember, you're not alone. There is a group of 2 billion moms worldwide, and we're here for you. Thank you.